What's up, all you tubers? I hope y'all have had a good, healthy week. I hope everybody's staying safe and you're staying healthy because this has been a hell of a week, and I'm gonna try to break it down as best I can. I started to do this in a two-parter, but I don't think I'll have to. Well, let me turn this around a little bit. I don't think I'll have to, so we'll just have to wait and see. Um, let's start off with the runoffs in Georgia. Okay, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. I'll make sure I say his name right. Both of those two won their runoffs in Georgia. Okay, that's a good thing. Not because they're Democrats. It's just because Kelly Loeffler, Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue were both just absolutely horrible. They were not both absolutely horrible because they're Republicans. They're horrible because they are criminals. They're horrible because they were using the office for their own personal gain. Kelly Loeffler wasn't even elected to her office. She was appointed, I think, by the governor, and she basically bought it. Kelly Loeffler is the richest person in the government, and she didn't belong there. She didn't need to be there. She wasn't representing nobody in Georgia. She's representing herself. Plus, her husband, with all these criminal activities that he had going on, it's just like these two were just horrible. They needed to be gone. So, good deal there. John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock both won their runoffs. So now the Dems control all three branches of government: the House, the Senate, and the White House. Now, this is a very important thing for all of us, and I need you guys to understand this. Okay, it's very important because now that the Democrats control all three branches of government, first of all, we're more likely to get something done for us. Okay. Second, we can hold their feet to the fire, and they will respond better than if Donald Trump remained in office. What I mean by that is Democrats will fold under pressure from the people if we put enough pressure on them to do what we want them to do. And it also proves another point. If you give Democratic voters, a reason to vote for you, they will vote for you, i.e. the $2,000 checks. This was promised by Joe Biden and John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, that if they won, that they would have a better chance of getting these $2,000 checks sent out, and they would go out to everybody, and everybody needs them. People are hurting. People are no job. People have no food on the table. They can't pay the bills. Some people are even homeless. It's ridiculous that the American people are suffering so bad, but yet we can't count on our elected representatives to do what the hell they're supposed to do. So that is a good thing. We can get the $2,000 checks sent out. I'm going to come around back out today here in a minute because I got something to say to you people in West Virginia. So listen up. Another thing that I want to get to real quickly, because honestly, it makes my stomach turn. Like, I cringe at just the thought of what happened. And on my birthday of all days, Wednesday, January the 6th, the day that Donald Trump whipped, I think they estimated it to be a little over like 8 or 9,000 people, 10,000 people, somewhere around there. He whipped these people up into a frenzy and sent them to attack the United States Capitol in an effort to stop the certification of electoral votes in Joe Biden's win for president. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to stop the votes. That is a constitutionally mandated process. You're not going to stop that. That even if they had to wait till the next day, it was going to happen, because it has to happen. But these people are not smart enough to know this. They're idiots. They're traitors to this country, packing American flags, fake patriots, packing American flags and Confederate flags, and attacking the United States Capitol. traitors to this country. I've heard the word insurrectionist thrown around, which is true. So I'm going to throw them around myself. They are insurrectionists. They're traitors. They attempted a coup to stop a mandated process by the Constitution, and it just wasn't going to happen. So I don't know what the point was. Donald Trump whipped these people up into a frenzy in order to send them into battle for him now, and he turned around and went back to the White House to watch it on TV. Yeah. He whipped these people up into a frenzy and sent them in to attempt to stop this process, to seat him as dictator. What time he went to the White House and watched it on TV. And according to one of his aides, was notably excited. It's pathetic. Pathetic. Pathetic that a sitting president of the United States would whip up a crowd of thousands and send them to attack a federal building in the United States Capitol on his behalf. And yes, he did do this. You can say he didn't all you want to. He didn't have to in the direct words. All he had to do was just mention a few little things like, don't be weak. You can't take back our country by being weak. You have to be strong. These people know what he meant by that. They're not the brightest people in the world, but they know what he wants them to do, and now they're willing to do it. They're willing to die for it. 5 people are dead because of this. One was one of the Trump supporters, the woman that dove through the door to the floor where they were taking the votes at, and was shot and killed. I mean, it's pathetic. It's ridiculous, and they keep touting this number of 74 million people voted for Donald Trump. 74 million people now in this country that are not intelligent enough to know that they're being used by a racist wannabe dictator. I don't know what to say about that. It blows my mind. It really does. And I want to let these Trump supporters know, and it's not because they're Republicans. I get so sick of this herd mentality, Republicans versus Democrats. Y'all shut up. Stop that shit. Shut up. Okay? I'm talking to Trump supporters. I don't give a fuck what your party loyalty is. I'm talking to Trump supporters here. You are being used by a dictator wannabe. I know the majority of you are racist and bigoted and homophobic and sexist and whatever, just like he is. I know this. But to the ones of you that are not, and you honestly believe that he is going to do anything for you, stop. Stop. He's not. Let me solve that equation in your head for you right now. He's not going to do anything for you. Donald Trump don't give a flying shit about you. He don't care if you die tomorrow. He just don't. How many times have you heard him mention the woman that dove through the door on his behalf now and was shot and killed? Have you heard him mention her one time? No. Because he don't give a damn. All he cares about is the fact that she died for him. And that satisfies him. You need to know that. Just stop. We're not going to seat a dictator for you. We're not going to allow you to seat a dictator for you. We're going to continue on with the process that the Constitution demands. And if you can't handle that, if you don't like that, you're free to go. See, unlike you, we're not willing and ready to hold you hostage or prisoner. You're free to go. Another point that I wanted to make, I'm not going to make this video too long, is now that Democrats control all 3 branches of government, the conversation about the $2,000 checks is being dealt with. West Virginia, Joe Manchin is going to hold these checks up. He was just on CNN. I just watched it. And no, I don't watch mainstream media. Here the last couple of days I've been watching all of them, just to see what everybody has to say about all the stuff that's been going on. But you guys need to know that he is holding up these checks. He's not going to vote for them. The checks that you need, he's not going to vote for them. He was on CNN, and this is his words. He said, I have people in West Virginia that are hurting. They can't find a job because there are no jobs to find. Whose responsibility is that? He's the senator for West Virginia. Is that not his job to make sure that he keeps business flowing into West Virginia? Is that not his job to make sure that the people in West Virginia have jobs to go to? Is that not his job to make sure that people in West Virginia are not hurting and suffering because of his actions? I mean, that's his job, ain't it? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Which brings me to my next point. I don't know how many of y'all in West Virginia know this, but I'm going to give you a few details here. Joe Manchin has been in office since 1986. 1986. Add that up. This is 2021. He's been in office since 1986. Now, y'all need to sit back and just let that roll around in your head for a minute and then ask yourselves, what has he done for you in all that time? What's he done for you? In 2018, West Virginia was ranked the poorest state in the country. 50 states, and West Virginia was ranked the poorest state in the country. In 2020, last year, West Virginia was ranked the third poorest state in the country, behind Puerto Rico and Mississippi. Puerto Rico is technically a territory, not a state, but same difference. The third poorest state in the country in 2020. What has he done for you all? And now, on top of the fact that he has done absolutely nothing for you, he is on TV stating the fact that he's going to hold these checks up and he's going to flat refuse to give you any money, your money. His exact words were when Jake Tapper asked him, this is a yes or no answer. This is what Jake Tapper said to him. This a yes or no. Are you going to be on board for sending out these $2,000 checks? And Joe Manchin's response was, that's not a yes or no answer. Yeah, it is. It's a yes or no answer, and the common sense answer is yes. I mean, he just got through saying that he has people in West Virginia that are struggling and can't feed their families and can't feed themselves and they can't find a job because there's no jobs to have. That $2,000 would help them, wouldn't it? That should be common sense. But Joe Manchin says it's not. It's not a yes or no answer. He says that they should not focus on these checks, forget about the checks, and because he didn't want checks going to people that didn't need them. That's a fucking lie. He says they're not means tested. So, yeah, that's the reason why he's not for them. That's a fucking lie. The reason why Joe Manchin don't want these checks going out is because he knows that people that need them will get them and people that don't need them won't get them. He don't operate that way. His mind works in reverse. See, the thing about these checks is that, yes, people that don't need them will get them. But everybody's pretty much in agreement. It's not that difficult to say, okay, we can send these checks out to everybody because people are hurting. They need this money. So who cares? We're not going to means test nothing. There's no point in means testing anything because you can send the checks out and then anybody that gets a check that don't need it, tax it back. So essentially, anybody that's getting them that don't need them won't be getting them. That's not that difficult to do. Joe Manchin's not a stupid person, guys. He knows this. Okay? He's smart enough to know this. He just don't care. He don't want people that do need them to get them, because his brain works the same way Mitch McConnell's brain does. And I have to serve my donors instead of my constituents. And then he wants to get on TV and half speak and beat around the bush to try to convince you that he cares about you. When the truth of the matter is if he give a damn about you, first of all, you wouldn't be ranked the third poorest state in the country in 2020, and you would have a job to go to. If he give a damn about you, he wouldn't be holding up these checks that he knows people in West Virginia desperately need. But he is. He's not only going to hold them up, but he's going to try to stop it. That's disgusting. From your elected senator. And he is literally holding your life in his hands, and he's saying no. This brings me to my other point. I was going to look this up anyway, but Kyle Kulinski was on Twitter. Right about the time I was about to look this up, my phone beeps, and it's Kyle. It tweeted out something, and it turned out it was the phone number that I was going to look for. So thank you, Kyle Kulinski, for saving me a little bit of work. But yeah, this is the number to Joe Manchin's office. Guys, all you people in West Virginia, you need to spread this far and wide and call him. And this is what you tell him. If you do not get on board with this $2,000 check deal, and you do not send us these checks that we desperately need, then your days in Washington, D.C. are numbered. We will fire your ass if you do not get on board with these checks. That's what you tell him. The number, area code 202-224-3954. You can rewind it back. If you didn't get it and didn't have time to write it down or whatever, pause this video, rewind it back, and that's the number. That's how you contact Joe Manchin, and you let him know. You're not going to tolerate no more corruption. You're not going to tolerate no more greed from him. This man's been in office since 1986, and West Virginia ranks the third poorest state in the country. There's no excuse for that. Why is he still in office? I've done plenty of videos to where I say the same thing to my people here in Kentucky. Mitch McConnell has been in office since 1984, I believe, and Kentucky is the fifth poorest state in the country. Why is he still in office? There's no excuse for it. Y'all need to stop the party loyalty bullshit. I've said it over and over and over and over again, and I'm going to say it again. Stop the party loyalty bullshit. Y'all need to start judging these people based on what they do, not because of the letter that's beside of their name. As you can see here, Kentucky has a Republican senator in Mitch McConnell. He has an R beside of his name. We're the fifth poorest state in the country. West Virginia has a Democratic senator. He has a D beside of his name. They're the third poorest state in the country. That Republican and Democrat shit don't really matter. Now does it? Because what matters is what they do. And you see what they're doing. They're throwing us under the bus and serving their donors. And it's got to stop. So, you all in West Virginia, he's your senator. Call him. 202-224-3954. Call him and you tell him exactly what I told you to say. And I guarantee you that next week you're going to see him on CNN or Fox News or MSNBC, and he's going to have change attitude. Because when you let them know that you hold their life in your hands, he's going to realize that the people are fed up with being thrown under the bus. The people know what's going on. We know about the corruption. We know who they serve. And it's not us. Once you let them know that, once you let them know you're not going to tolerate it anymore, it'll stop. It don't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. You see, right now, it don't matter. Two of the poorest states in the country, one of them has a Republican senator, the other one has a Democratic senator, and it don't matter. The people are still poor, ain't they? Why? Because corporate America is being taken care of, and you're not.